What is going on, Lions fans and One Pride Nation? Another day, another hour of Lions news. What I want to touch on right now is this the David Montgomery trade and what the Lions got in the trade. Now, yesterday when you and I were talking, and I came and I did the video and talked about the Lions trading David Montgomery, there weren't any clear details on what the Lions got. But a day later, I found out that the Lions got a fourth and a sixth-round pick from the Houston Texans. They also got offensive lineman Juice Scruggs. So I'm looking at an article right here that talks about grading the haul that the Lions got. And let's see what these guys are talking about. They said the Lions have broken up their running back duo of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs developed into one of the NFL's most dynamic backs and in line for a contract extension all season. David Montgomery has been dealt to the Houston Texans. It says the Lions agreed to a deal sending Montgomery to Houston for 2 draft picks and offensive lineman Juice Scruggs. So let's see if they say a little more about Mr. Scruggs. On the surface, the deal marks the end of an era where the Lions boosted one of the top running back duos in the league. The tandem of Montgomery and Gibbs effectively earned a nickname Sonic and Knuckles. And it talked about them being a phenomenal 1-2 punch. However, Montgomery's overall role decreased throughout the 2025 season, and he finished with a career low in snaps at 37%. As I mentioned yesterday, I believe that one of the main reasons that his snaps reduced was because I really believe that he lost a step as well as Gibbs coming into his own. As a result of his diminished workload, along with comments from general manager Brad Holmes, uncertainty began to grow with Montgomery's future with the team. Down here, it says that it was reported Sunday that Montgomery wanted out. Things eventually materialized into Monday's trade. The Lions added 1 draft pick to their haul in this year's draft as Houston sent a 2026 fourth-round selection. Additionally, the Lions gained a 2027 7th round. Okay, so my mistake. They didn't get the 7th rounder this year. The 7th rounder is for next year, but they get the 4th this year. Scruggs, a 2nd-round pick out of Penn State, had the opportunity to battle for a starting spot in the final year of his rookie contract. Scruggs has played plenty across both guard spots and at center, though his most experience has come at left guard. It says that Scruggs had an up-and-down 2025 season for the Texans as he finished the year with a 45-point overall official grade from PFF. He graded out slightly better as a pass blocker than a run blocker. Scruggs is an experienced option that will bring plenty of competition for the likes of Christian Mahogany and Tate Ratledge at guard. It says where things could really get interesting is if the Lions view Scruggs as a potential answer for their future at center following Frank Ragnow's 2025 retirement. And then the article, let's see what else it says. Well, down here, it says that they give the grade a B. It says if not, the team could still pursue the ideal of moving Tate Ratledge at center and sliding Scruggs in at guard. Ratledge got significant reps at center throughout his rookie training camp before ultimately starting every game at guard. Trader Montgomery does lead the team somewhat thin at running back behind Gibbs, with Siani Vaki and Jacob Sellers, the 2 current options under contract. It also says overall the Lions gained 2 draft picks and a potential starter on the offensive line to part ways with a player who had become expendable. And then it says that they give the grade a B. So let me get some thoughts on Juice Scruggs. I know that Juice Scruggs was a 2023 2nd-round pick. He is 26 years old, so he hasn't even reached his prime yet. He's about a year out from reaching his prime. But what I was interested in was, did the Lions go after him because he can play center? Now, it sounds like he can play center, even though guard is really where he flourished the most at. But the question is do the Lions really think that this guy could be the starter at center, or are they bringing him in as a extra piece? So in other words, Glasgow has been released, and there's still some questions on if Mahogany is the guy or not, like some think, and there's still that hole at center. And I know they're talking about moving Ratledge at center, and maybe Scruggs could move in to that right spot and play guard. I'm not real sure about that. I mean, the Lions would have to be very confident that Tate Ratledge can move in and be the guy that Frank Ragnow was. So it sounds like Scruggs could be coming in and doing, quite a few things on the interior. You know what I'm saying? He could be that bonus piece. He could be that legit backup, or he could be a starter, but actually only time would tell. So I'm not sure where the Lions stand on either in the draft getting a center or still trying to work out something in free agency. But for what it is, for now, the Lions now have another young interior lineman to battle for a spot or to be a starter. All right, Lions fans, one day later, the Montgomery trade is kind of, settling down. The dust is settling, and now we see what the Lions get: a 2026 fourth round pick, a 2027 seventh round pick, and interior offensive lineman Juice Scruggs. So, Lions fans, what is your thoughts on young Mr. Scruggs? Where do you see him at? Do you see him as just maybe a chess piece, or do you see him as a legit starter at either guard or center? All right, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so we can keep talking Lions football. That's all for this one. Give us your thoughts on the Montgomery trade and the fallout with it. That's all I got on this one. Until next time, peace.